NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Locked On family? Let's get locked in. Welcome back to Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, your daily podcast covering your favorite draft prospects, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your boy, Damian Parson, always on the ones and twos. You can find and follow me on Twitter at DP_NFL. I am the host of the Locked On Clemson Football Podcast. And guys, thank y'all. First of all, happy Monday. Happy Monday and Tuesday, all that good stuff. But appreciate y'all tapping in with your boys here as always. Making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day, Monday through Friday, man. Appreciate all the love and support. You know what I'm saying? So as always, go and check out the YouTube channel. But we talking preseason week 2. Standouts and all that. I can't do that without my boy Keith Sanchez, Mr. LSU. You can follow him on Twitter at the Talent Code. Keith, talk to him, baby.
What's up, Locked On family? This is Keith Sanchez, Senior Draft Analyst with the Draft Network, man, and 2019 National Champ, man. But you know why we're here, right? Myself, Damian Parsons, we are here to bring you that championship-level content surrounding the NFL Draft 24/7, 365. And like my guy DP already queued up, what? Man, we in preseason week 2, man. So we have a wonderful Monday show, man. We talking recap. We talking standouts. We got Dame's dudes where I get to put Dame in the pressure cooker once again, man. And then we're going to give out those game balls for the best performances that we've seen from preseason week 2. So DP, we in the football, baby. We in the football. Let's kick this thing off, man. Let's get this energy going. Shout out to our everydayers for tapping in with us. We're about to have a hell of a show. But first, why don't you hit them with our title sponsor, DP?
Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Keith, standouts, man. We did it last week. Doing it again here this week, and we're gonna keep this. We're getting the mid-season form with this, Keith. Standouts from week 2, Keith, and for me, I gotta go to Rashee Rice. Rookie wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, you know, had a nice game. He, of course, all of his reps weren't really with Holmes and everything, but you know, I think it was like 8 receptions, 96 yards. He didn't have a touchdown, but you saw a lot of the things that we saw at SMU. The catch radius, the toughness, the ability to make some plays after the catch as well. And I feel like in this wide receiver room where there's no designated wide receiver 1, just seeing him put together a good performance, that was encouraging, man, because at the end of the day, I truly believe we don't know if Kadarius Toney can stay healthy. We don't know if Sky Moore is going to take that year 2 leap in this Andy Reid's offense, right? Justin Ross is the guy who looks probably the best out of all of them. He's just got to stay healthy as well. So Rashee Rice being able to go out there and put up good numbers, separate, right? Be able to run the routes that are designed. They gave him some easy stuff to create yards after the catch and everything, Keith. But, you know, I think there was a rep where he's lined up, I think, in the slot versus Isaiah Simmons. And he made Isaiah Simmons look silly, man. Isaiah Simmons did not look good. You know what I mean? He doesn't look good playing that nickel corner type stuff anyway. But Rashee Rice was able to manipulate him on the route, break outside, and present himself wide open. So I think for me, one of my standouts was Rashee Rice, man.
Hey, I like that, DP, and I think about this Kansas City Chiefs offense, man. I think it's going to be a little bit different than what we're used to seeing, right? Because it used to be so predicated when you're talking about Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, like just straight speed, right? Like it was like, you know what? We're going to push this thing vertical as much as possible. We're going to find a mismatch vertically, right? Like, and that seemed to be the theme of this offense in the past years. Now, I'll say this. They have Rashee Rice, but they also have Justin Ross, right? Which are guys that we're not going to consider them burners, right? They can get open, but they're not burners. But I think it's interesting because of the offense. This thing is going to be, I don't even want to say 50-50 balls, right? But you're really going to see Mahomes and his ball placement, right? Those back shoulder throws. I think, and just being able to put it up high and letting those guys go and get it. So I like the Rashee Rice, like you just giving him his credit because he has really stepped up, right? And I would throw Justin Ross into that too, into that conversation too, because we've seen plenty of practices, right? Practice clips going, just on Twitter, whereas those two guys just making plays. And like you said, it's not them running vertical and separating them from people, but what it is that it's ball placement, it's Mahomes showing his accuracy, and then it's those guys just being big body wide receivers. So I like that. DP, I'm gonna transition another team in the AFC. Right, in this conversation, I'm gonna introduce his name, and then we have a quick conversation about it. And that is Pittsburgh Steelers running back Jaylen Warren. He caught some eyes because he had the big time run this weekend, DP. And what I started to see was that people say, "Hey, Jaylen Warren is coming. Najee Harris should be worried," right? Or and then it was Najee Harris shouldn't have to worry about nothing. He's way better than Jaylen Warren. And that's not what a conversation is. The conversation is that the Pittsburgh Steelers have a two-headed monster at the running back. And I think that this is what it is. They're complementary pieces. What Jaylen Warren does is almost the polar opposite of Najee Harris. What Najee Harris does is the polar opposite of Jaylen Warren. So if I'm an AFC, like, we shouldn't be knocking them. We should be like, this could be really bad for a lot of other teams because they can really run the rock and get the run game going over there in Pittsburgh.
No, 100%, Keila. It's, I think it's a lot of fantasy football stuff. You got to pit one running back against the other, and they on the same team. You want one guy to be the bell cow so he helps your fan. Nobody cares about that. That's just like, what I mean? Like, the NFL teams don't care about it. So, like, just give both those dudes their flowers because, like you said, they complement each other so well. Where Najee's could be more of the hammer, but he's also a better receiver out of the backfield than Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren.
I agree. No, I wasn't trying to. Yeah, no, you took exactly what I was going to go, and that's what I meant is that, hey, we think about this Pittsburgh offense, right? If I'm a coach, I'm saying, hold on, we might have some two running back sets out there, right? We're talking Najee Harris, and we can have both of them, start them off, both of them, in the backfield, but then we can take Najee Harris, motion them out right now, just have Jaylen Warren, and I can do some different things, right? And now I can motion Najee Harris to trips, throw a bubble screen off of that with the play action, with the Jaylen Warren play action fix. So it's so many different things that you can do when you have those two guys. So I think you should just be more excited, right, than trying to put one against the other and go about it that way. DP, do you have another
Kenny Pickett?
It helps Kenny Pickett. So it'll be fun. So I want to ask you, do you have another guy? Yeah, do you have another guy?
Yeah, I definitely do. I'm gonna drop two real quick, Keith. Ronnie Bell, wide receiver, was like day 3 pick to the San Francisco 49ers, had over 100 yards receiving. And he's gonna be a part of that kind of yards after catch model that they have in San Fran, where you're not going to get big time play out of the quarterback where, hey, Brock Purdy, whoever's going to be the quarterback by the time we get to the end of the season, they don't have to carry the load. It's hit the guy, put the ball on them, let them make the plays, because Kyle Shanahan is going to devise and design to get these guys running lanes after the catch, right? We always talk about running lanes with running backs, but you want to give running lanes to your receiving options after they receive the football. And kids, I got to give love to my guy, my guy Tank Bigsby, man. 13 carries, 70 yards, over 5 yards a pop. And for those who don't believe it, Tank Bigsby is going to have a big role in this offense, even with Travis Etienne in the regular season, right? Somebody had they were, I think it was against when they played the Cowboys last week. Both of them were standing in the end zone, kind of warming up. And you could just tell the difference in the body type where Tank he looks like a running back, and he looks like a guy that's going to be able to run between the tackles, be physical, get downhill. And you see like a smaller, less stout body frame, and more, you could tell a more explosive of the two with Travis Etienne. So Tank Bigsby, I got to give a shout out to him as well. I think he's going to have a big impact as a rookie. And like I said, with Ronnie Bell, I would not be surprised to see him get 40 to 50 receptions, 500-600 yards, and a lot of it after the catch.
Yeah, I like both of those guys, man. Especially, I think we talked about the Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne situation a couple times on this show, and you're really starting to play out, and seeing it come into fruition, man. And then Ronnie Bell, if he's able to come in as wide receiver 3/4, you're talking about adding another element to what they're doing over there in San Francisco. Just yet another weapon, and probably unexpected weapon, like you said. Ronnie Bell went in the 7th round, so you're talking about a later draft pick for the San Francisco 49ers. But DP, let's keep this thing pushing, right? Man, we're about to transition to standouts, to Dame's dudes, right? And this is not about bringing up the best performances. I'm trying to bring up some controversy, right? I'm trying to get this thing started, see what we have going on with Dame's dudes. So coming up next, y'all know what I do. I throw the players at Dame. He has to answer me like, hey, are they in the club? Are they not in the club? Are they one of Dame's dudes? Do they get the stamp of approval or not. So coming up next, man, we get to put Damian Parsons, DP, in the pressure cooker with the Dames Do segment.
I'll never forget, guys, trying to go to a Charlotte Hornets game and trying to find tickets at the last minute when LeBron James came to town. I absolutely hated this experience because it was so difficult to hunt down the best price last minute, but also trying to compete with other buyers for this event. It was stressful. But buying tickets for your favorite events should not be stressful. What you need to do is check out Game Time. Game Time is fast and easy. It is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They have killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun that you're going to have. I'm looking at the app right now, and I promise you guys, if you're a Panthers fan, you can go to the last preseason game this Friday for $3. Just $3 altogether. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Keith, one of your favorite segments, Dame's Dudes. And you got some guys that I gotta give the stamp of approval or tell them to get out of the line. So who's up first?
And we're gonna start this thing off at the very top, DP. Listen, there's a lot of I told you, I'm going after the controversial moments, man. When we do this, man. We gotta entertain the people, man. There's been a bit of a conversation down there in San Francisco, right? We're talking about, Trey Lance, and then we're talking about Brock Purdy, and then we're talking about a little bit of Sam Darnold with DP. I'm gonna go ahead and stop that movement right on Brock Purdy, DP. Is Brock Purdy a Dame Dudes or not?
No. No, he is not. Shout out to Brock Purdy, man. He played good ball last year. He's gonna orchestrate this offense and all that good stuff. I don't want somebody that's gonna orchestrate my offense, and that's the only thing you can do. I need somebody that I can put the weight of the world on your shoulders and say, listen, what we always talk about, trucks and trailers. At best, Brock Purdy's a hitch. I don't want a hitch. I want a truck. Okay, I want a new truck with all the bells and the whistles. Okay, I want them to be able to carry everything that I can put on their back. I need that, and for me, it's just I look at it like this: situations matter. I think you always say that situations matter post draft. If Brock Purdy as a talent, if he is anywhere else, is he playing the level he's playing? Absolutely not. I could put Davis Mills in that offense, and we would see the same type of play from Davis Mills. So, it just is what it is. So, shout out to Brock Purdy and Bang Bang Niner gang or whatever they call themselves. Shout out to them. Brock Purdy is not getting in the club.
Okay, cool. Hey, we got because everybody's giving their opinion on that situation, right? So I was like, it's only right if we bring that name up, him, Trey Lance, and bring that name up in the Dames Dude segment, DP. But look, up next, man, we're going to attack of a lower, right? Like he set Twitter on fire this weekend when he threw the interception, but he rebounded nicely. But I don't think we've ever talked about your opinion about Tua, right? Just as a football player, his perspective, how you feel about him overall as a quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. So is he a Dames dude or not?
Tua used to be a Dames dude. When he was at Bama, he was my dude, man. Tua, he frustrates me just from the aspect of the head injuries, the awkward land. I know he did jiu-jitsu this offseason, learning how to fall. That's just, I don't know. That just bothers me to its own end, man. But I do think that he's a really good quarterback. Do I believe he is, a franchise changer? I think it just depends on the weapon still. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, where I have to elevate your ceiling because of the weapons, and also with the injury stuff, he's not a Dames dude at this particular moment. I need him if he can stay healthy through this season and give me you know what I mean? Because I'm thinking Dames dudes, we get paid over here, baby. You know what I mean? We cutting checks. So it's like, Tua, I can't pay you if you can't stay healthy, big dog. So right now, he's gonna stay in the line. I'm not gonna kick him out of the line, but he's gonna have to wait in line until week 17 is over.
Well, DP, because you said that he was a Dames dude, so he was in the club, and then you put him out the club. This may be the first person ever get put out the club. Usually they just don't get in. You took this guy, he was in the club, and you took him and put him out.
He was in the club, man. Tua was my QB1 come out of Bama, bro. He was my QB1. I was I have changed a lot in my evaluation ability.
I mean, but I don't think Tua is a bad quarterback. Like you said,
No,
it's surrounded with injuries, and then they finally got him weapons. But last year, unfortunately, he was injured, right? So I think the script is still to be written
he's got to play
on Tua
better out of
Tagovailoa.
structure. And like you saw, like even before, like when he came back from the injuries, there were certain teams on the stretch that start giving him problems defensively, where they took away the quick game, took away the RPOs, and all that type of stuff like that, and then he couldn't do anything to help the team at times. And it's like, Tua, you got to be able to make plays out of structure, on the move, things of that nature to help elevate your offense when the defense, who gets paid millions of dollars themselves, when they strap up and they say, listen, man, we playing defense today, baby. And when they locked up your receivers, what can you do to help those guys out and help your offense out? And I want to see that more in 2023 than I did in 2022.
Okay, cool. That's very respectable. I can understand that. Let's keep going, man. I'm gonna throw out. So this might have been Friday's preseason game when you had the Giants, right? The Giants playing the Panthers.
Yeah.
And one of the guys that kind of went viral. He's been a polarizing name overall because people don't know where they kind of stand with him. That's why we're gonna get your opinion on it. Jalen Hyatt with the New York Giants. DP, is he a Dame's dude or not? We know he had the big play, the touchdown, but right before I think he dropped the football, right? Mm-hmm. So you kind of seen a tale of two tapes, right? Just right. It might have been even back-to-back plays, I want to say. So DP, I'm gonna ask you, is Jalen Hyatt a Dame's dude or not?
Not right now, Keith. I still need to see more from him. You know, and even on that touchdown, like, you know, he was the third receiver from the line, from the sideline. Yeah. He's in the trip set. He's getting a full head of steam look to run full speed at Eric Rowe, who's like 7, 8 to 10 yards off, flat-footed as a safety. And it's like, that's a rep. That's like one-on-one rep. That's a rep you should win, truthfully, right? And he did a good job stemming it, you know, kind of keeping the stem straight, and then, you know, kind of jab stepping outside and breaking back to the corner and getting open and everything. Shout out to Tyrod Taylor delivering a dime while getting crashed by the defensive line on that play. But for me, it's more so, like you said, getting open and he's not used to. He didn't make a ton of catches away from his frame at Tennessee. So that play that you're talking about, the ball's led him. It hits him in the hands and he drops it. So it's like, are you a natural hands catcher? Are you a natural or you know, a natural separator when it is one-on-one? And what happens when we start seeing more tight man-to-man coverage? Because you're not going to consistently get off coverage every single snap. When guys want to, defensive coordinator is going to say, listen, that's the big play threat. Get in his face, rough him up. Let's see if he can handle the physicality at this level. And if he can, cool. Then you can back him off a little bit. But until then, you're going to have to earn that respect eventually. And for right now, for me, it's just too many question marks in his game for me to say, yeah, he's in the club.
Okay, no, I get that. I get that. And I was kind of torn on it, right? Because you look at the offense, and the thing with the New York Giants, they have a ton of speed, right? They have Sterling Shepard, you know, coming back. Wan'Dale Robinson should be healthy at some point. And then you throw in Jalen Hyatt, obviously with Darren Waller, you know, just manipulating the middle of the field. It's just, you know, that's why I asked you Jalen Hyatt with the New York Giants, right? Because I really want to see how you felt about, you know, those situations, because everybody during the weekend, they talked about, you know, the play call. So I'm like, okay, is because we talked about Jalen Hyatt, and I feel the same way you felt about a lot of the free releases, free access stuff. And I was like, okay, do you think Brian Daboll is going to be able to put him in situations where he's going to get a lot of free releases, right? Because then that's going to open him up. But we'll see, right? The jury's kind of still out on him too. And I know, you know, you say you got to see a little bit more. And he did have the drop right before, because you went from like, oh, here we go, you know, and then it was like, oh, touchdown. And then everybody forgot the play before. But, you know, that's just how it goes. But DP, I have one other guy, man. And I don't know. I honestly, I don't even know if we genuinely talked about this guy ever. And that is Dallas Cowboys. And I'm even calling him a bounce back wide receiver, even though he's going into year 2. And that's Jalen Tolbert. Because he's flashing just a little bit now, where he had nothing, right, in as a rookie. And it was, you know, we heard so many things, right? He's not picking up the plays. He's not committed. You know, it seems like he's swimming, you know, it's like with the drinking out of the water hose or whatever they say, right? Yeah. It was just so much fun, and nothing to his personal character. It just seemed like it was overwhelming from him, from a physical standpoint, and also a mental perspective too. Just, you know, he was mentally overwhelmed by some of the situations. I want to ask you, DP, are you in on Jalen Tolbert with the Dallas Cowboys in this role? Is he a Dame's dude or not?
I want him to be, Keith. He's making strides. He's moving up in the line. You know how the line in the club starts to
Yeah,
slide.
he
People
he
start to get
rolling.
in.
He rolling.
Yeah, it's pushing that way. I liked his physical tools, man. The size, the frame, the athletic ability. Right, he looks like a boundary NFL receiver. And like you said, like I think his rookie year kind of started off kind of weird, even back to the Senior Bowl. Like, you know what I mean? Last year, he wasn't he was at home, like at the Senior Bowl.
Mhm.
Like the
Yeah, that
Senior
was
Bowl
literally
took
his
place
college campus.
at his
Yeah.
college. He just didn't look like the guy we saw on tape, even at the Senior Bowl. So now seeing the clips from camp and him starting to kind of stack together reps and days, and then even in the preseason game, tweeting out the clip of him running a slant, but being able to move a guy off the spot, sell an outside release, like the little nuance things that you want to see. And it's like, okay, there we go, Jalen. There we go. I'm not gonna let him in the club yet because this is a prestigious club. You know what I mean? We pop bottles in here. So like I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't got no cheap stuff in this building. So I gotta make sure that he's earned every bit of it. But I'm excited for what he's shown, and I'm hoping that he gets more reps in the regular season too. Because I mean, like Michael Gallup wasn't great last year. I know he's coming off the ACL. This will be 2 years removed from the ACL and everything. But if Jalen Tolbert can take that step and earn the trust of Dak and Mike McCarthy and those guys, man, I think he would pair well with Brandon Cooks, pair well with CeeDee Lamb, and give him a bigger body receiver that can kind of be a 3-level guy if Michael Gallup doesn't come back to being what he was pre ACL. He's close.
Yeah.
He's moving up in the line.
If Jalen Tolbert, listen, I'll say this: if Jalen Tolbert can be what he was at South Alabama, I feel differently about this Dallas Cowboys wide receiver core. And right now, to be completely honest, y'all, I'm speaking to everydayers, right? I'm kind of mediocre on it. I think it's cool. I don't love it. But if he's able to be what he was at South Alabama and give this just another element of depth, right? And they're able to do some different things with him, along with Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb, then I'm starting to feel different because I think it's important that they have those guys because after CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks is who he is. I always say I feel like CeeDee Lamb is not a 1, he's not a 2, he's probably a 1.5. Michael Gallup recovering from an ACL. So Jalen Tolbert definitely has to show up. DP, I think that's a good segment, man. We got into some names. I can see it on your face that I hit you with a couple curveballs, man, a couple guys you were not expecting. Well, look, we're gonna keep it going, man. Keep it going. And we have, man, you hand out the game ball right at the end of the game, end of the show. You hand out the game balls to those guys that performed well. So coming up next, man, we're gonna hand out the game balls for preseason week 2 of those guys that performed well.
Our partners at eBay Motors have teamed up with Locked On Fantasy Football host Vinny Iyer to bring you some of the best fantasy picks each week all season long. Whether you're prepping for a draft or scouting the waiver wire, every week we're going to provide you players that are guaranteed to fit on your roster. So with draft prep underway for the up-and-coming season, let's see who Vinny has picked out for us on this week's eBay's Guaranteed Fit Fantasy Picks of the week. If you're looking for a safe quarterback to take late after you passed on everyone at the position, then you can ride with Dallas Cowboys Dak Prescott, who's been healthy and getting enough volume always comes through as a great fit in fantasy lineups. Prescott will be more efficient in this new offense with Mike McCarthy at the helm, and his new weapons have been rebooted more to his liking with Brandon Cooks. Dallas also won't be nearly as run-heavy, restoring Prescott's solid numbers through the air. Vinny Iyer from Locked On Fantasy Football is going to help you win your championship, and eBay Motors knows a championship team is about each player being a perfect fit. Same with your vehicle. With eBay Guaranteed Fit and over 122 million parts and accessories for your vehicle right at your fingertips, you can make sure your ride stays running smoothly. Air filters, brakes, batteries, taillights, alternators, shocks, struts, you name it, eBay Motors has it. And they'll make sure it's the right fit for your car because eBay Guaranteed Fit helps you understand exactly what part you need for your vehicle the first time. So go forth, switch the gears, crank up the AC, and say goodbye to sweating if your ride needs a little fixing up, because now you know you'll always be set up for success from the get-go. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, everything your vehicle is calling for is just a click away, guys. For the parts and accessories that fit your vehicle, just look for the green check. Get the right parts, the right fit, the right prices at ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay guaranteed fit, only available to U.S. customers. It's time to hand out the game balls, Keith. And I'm staying in the Big Apple, brother, with them New York Giants. And I'm going to tell you right now, if this continues, he will actually earn the name Danny Dimes, because Daniel Jones and Darren Waller were out there balling together in that first drive versus the starting defense for the Carolina Panthers. And Darren Waller, man, J.C. Horn is the best corner in Carolina. He physically couldn't match up with Darren Waller. You know what I mean? Physically, that's a 6 foot, 6'6", 240, 50-pound guy.
Was that J.C. Horn that Darren Waller kind of knocked down when he was running?
Yep.
Okay, that adds a whole nother element to it. I thought it was probably like a third string, fourth string quarterback.
Nope,
the fact that was J.C. Horn, that adds a whole nother element to
the
that
moment J.C. Horn tried to land that quick jab on Darren. Darren gave him a nice little excuse me, broke in on the slant. But not only that, just the way that Dayball was kind of using him like a big receiver, detaching from the line and stuff like that. Man, I got to give my game ball to them. I don't even remember if they win. I don't even know. I can't remember if they won the game. Yeah, they did. The Panthers tried to come back late, but they ended up winning the game by 2. But that starting offense, even without Saquon Barkley, just a passing game of Daniel Jones, and now he looks comfortable with Darren Waller. I got to give my game ball to those two guys and Mike Kafka and Brian Daboll, because I think getting Saquon back for the regular season, this offensive line protects well. This could be an offense that we fast forward to week 17, getting ready for the playoffs, and we're like, man, the Giants offense looks much improved. They were one of the better ones in the league. So shout out to them. I want to give them the game ball, man.
Yeah, off of the heels of that, DP, I'm gonna give a shout out to Eric Gray too, right? He had the tough touchdown run, and I think that's going to be he's going to have a start to carve out a bigger role, right, as they continue to kind of spell Saquon Barkley. If they feel like they're in the playoff contention, and they want to get another guy going, Eric Gray has an immense amount of talent, man. Like, do I believe he's a tier 1 type player? Not that, but he's a really good tier 2 type running back, man. I would love him as a complimentary running back on my team, right? Just what he offers and what he's able to do. And while people peg him as a scat back, DP, he showed power in that run in that preseason game, man. Powering himself all the way through the line of scrimmage and to the touchdown. DP, I'm gonna go game ball. I talked about Pittsburgh earlier. I'm gonna go with Kenny Pickett, man. And listen, statistically, it wasn't anything crazy. I think he was just 3 or 4 for maybe 50 yards and a touchdown. But it wasn't that. It was, and we talked about Kenny Pickett a couple episodes ago, and he looked like what we said he needed to look like, right? Just go through the progressions of the offense. Look comfortable, get the throw it, like see it, throw it, get it out, complete the football, be in complete control of what you're doing. Walk around there confident, right? Like you're playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he did all of that, man. Like it looked good. And that's why I want to give him the game ball. And it's like I said, it's not because he statistically had, the best he had the best performance of week 2, right? But it was how he approached it, how he got in there. Because listen, you still playing the Buffalo Bills. I get it, it's preseason, but the Buffalo Bills know they're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? And I think when he came in there, you're still going against pretty good talent. And he came in and did what he's supposed to do. A lot of people are not high or weren't high on Kenny Pickett for whatever reason, right? Whether it was the hand size or, it's his name or he's, from Pitt or, it was just a lot of things to where Kenny Pickett, he wasn't even treated, and which could have been a good thing for him. I don't even feel like he had first round pressure on him because everybody was just like, whatever. Like he's right. Going to be average at best anyway. So, man, just for him to go out there and perform well, I think, and I want to ask you this with the Steelers, he performs well. Then you look at the rest of the Steelers roster. Is this a team that can be overlooked, right? If Kenny Pickett plays above average.
No, I absolutely. He plays good football with their defense that they can rush the passer with the best of them. They got 2 edge guys, interior guys.
Man, and you still have Keanu Benton, right? The rookie that they had, and then you still had the Marvin Lil. Then you still got Iron. Yeah, he still had Cam Hayward out there. Joey Porter Jr. is looking like Joey Porter Jr. is supposed to look. So that it's this could be a really good football team if Kenny Pickett does what he needs to do.
AFC North it's about to be a war zone over there. Like
Yeah,
that's about to be
I think
a
this
battle
DP,
tested group.
yeah, because everyone is talking about other divisions, right? Like the AFC West, the AFC East. The AFC North could be the division to look out for, man. You're talking about a healthy Lamar Jackson with those weapons. You're talking about Deshaun Watson with those weapons. You're talking about Kenny Pickett with those weapons, right? And then who's the other team I'm leaving out? I said the Ravens,
Bengals.
the Steelers, the Bengals. I mean, come on, like that's
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Joku, T,
yeah, like that
Jamar,
man, you talking, man, they're gonna beat each other up in that division, man. This may be the best that division has ever been because even when it's always like if the Steelers and the Ravens were good, the Bengals might have been down a little, right? Or if the Bengals and the Ravens, or Bengals and Steelers, then the Browns were nowhere in contention. All four of these teams. Yeah, all four of these teams potentially have really good quarterback situations moving forward. Good offenses with well-rounded defenses would make this thing special with DP. That wraps up this show, man. They were talking about the AFC North being a good division. I think we just put together a good show, man. Shout out to our everydayers, man, for tapping in with us. That's our Monday Reaction DP. Tomorrow, what we're going to talk about, we talk about the flip side of the coin, right? We talk about some of the good. Now we're going to talk about some of the bad, right? We're going to talk about potentially some of the disappointments we've seen, some improvements that we want to see from some guys, some question marks that we have after preseason week 2. But once again, man, shout out to our everydayers. Thank you for tapping in with us.
Go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. Get the latest episode as soon as it's available on YouTube. Hit the bell notification after you subscribe so you're notified anytime we drop content. In terms of Twitter, you can find and follow Keith Sanchez at The Talent Code, me, Damian Parson, DP_NFL. Come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.